There will be Bedlam softball this week in Oklahoma, so let's go down memory lane and revisit the best wins OU softball has had over Oklahoma State. Now, this won't be an easy task, which is a very good thing, because there's a lot of wins to choose from, as the Sooners own a 104-74 advantage in the series and a 63-8 advantage since 1999. But the Sooners and Cowgirls will meet on Wednesday night in Oklahoma City as members of different conferences. And unless OU and Oklahoma State see each other at some point in the postseason, this will be the only time this season that the two are scheduled to play. So let's celebrate the occasion by running down my list of the 5 best wins for OU over Oklahoma State. What's your number one? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well for more OU softball content. Let's get to it. At number 5, let's start with the last time these two teams actually played and the final time that they're going to play as Big 12 opponents. Game 3 at Loves Field, May 5th of 2024. And Oklahoma State had already won the series. Boy, things felt very down going into that Sunday game. It was the first time since the late 90s that OU had lost a series to Oklahoma State, and it didn't just feel right at the time with that OU team. Losing a series to Oklahoma State on senior weekend, that's just not how it was supposed to go for that group of legends last year. It was supposed to end with a 4th consecutive national championship. Hint, it actually did. That did happen. But you didn't feel great about those odds after losing the first 2 games of the series to the Cowgirls. Though the mood was down after losing the series, it was pretty obvious. You cannot get swept. Whatever you do, do not get swept. And it was close in Game 3. Score was tied at 2. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Oklahoma State had just scored a couple of runs. They had the momentum. A sweep at home would have been devastating. But Jada Coleman ignited the offense with an RBI single to get the lead. Then Ella Parker crushed a 3-run home run to center field. And then, not to be outdone, Tiara Jennings followed with a solo shot of her own to left center field. An RBI single from Hannah Core capped off a 6-run inning and propelled the Sooners to an 8-2 lead. Behind an excellent outing from Carly Keeney, OU won 8-2 in the final regular season game at Loves Field for that historic class. Now, it was just one win, and it wasn't even a series win. But that win meant a lot. It really meant a lot. At number 4, let's go back to March 15th, 2021, Big 12 Tournament Championship game in Oklahoma City. And it feels like no OU game in Oklahoma City is complete without Jada Coleman making an incredible play. Maybe multiple incredible plays. It could be defensively. It could be offensively. Whatever. It could be both in the same game. But Jada made so many plays in Oklahoma City throughout her career, and this game was no exception. Jada Coleman was incredible defensively in this game against Oklahoma State. Shannon Sale was very good in the circle. Kenzie Hansen led the offense, and a run rule win over Oklahoma State to win the Big 12 tournament. Now, it's always nice to win a game when they give out t-shirts and hats afterwards. But it's really nice, and it feels really good when you run rule an in-state rival in a game like that. Sooners won 10-2 in 6 innings. A great tournament win in Oklahoma City helped propel OU towards a national championship in 2021. Coming in at number 3, let's go to May 7th, 2022, Jocelyn Alo's senior day at Marita Hines Field. Alo wasn't having the type of senior day that she had hoped for. Midway through the game, she had already struck out twice, and OU trailed 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. But Jossie had a chance for redemption, and you know she came through. Bases loaded with 1 out in the 5th inning. After already striking out twice, she found herself down 0-2 in the count. But here's the thing. You can't keep the home run queen down for very long. Jocelyn Alo got an 0-2 pitch she could handle, sent that 0-2 pitch into the first row of the bleachers in right center field, and the place went absolutely insane. In an absolute storybook season, where Jocelyn Alo broke the home run record in her home state of Hawaii, and in a year where she won another national championship, her final regular season game at OU will always be remembered by a grand slam that vaulted the Sooners to a 5-3 win over Oklahoma State. Coming in at number 2, let's go to Stillwater, May 6, 2023, and it was not looking good for Oklahoma. Sooners were down 2-0 in the top of the 7th inning in the second game of the series against Oklahoma State, and OU was just 3 outs away from all of a sudden the series being tied in Stillwater. But it started with a double from Jocelyn Alo. Then it was an RBI single from Alina Torres. And you felt like at that point, you knew exactly what was about to happen. This program is never out of a game. They've got the heart of a champion. And this game was just another example of that. On a full count pitch, Tiare Jennings doubled off the wall in left center to score a couple of runs and give OU its first lead of the game. The Sooners went from being down to their final outs to taking the lead in the top of the 7th inning. Then Sid Sanders got in on the action. She kept it going with an RBI single down the left field line. All of a sudden, Oklahoma was up 4-2 heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. They end up winning. Just an incredible comeback that day in Stillwater to give OU its 40th straight win. Jennings' hit came against Kelly Maxwell, who would later transfer to OU, be named the 2024 WCWS Most Outstanding Player. Sooner legend in my book, if you ask me. Tiare Jennings had a ton of big hits in her career. A lot of big hits in her career. But that day in Stillwater was arguably the biggest that she had in an OU uniform. And finally, at number 1, my favorite Bedlam softball moment of all time, May 31st, 2019, the only time that OU and Oklahoma State have met in the Women's College World Series, and there were storylines galore going into that game. Oklahoma State's Samantha Shao was famous across the country for her bat flips after home runs, and there was a lot of debate going on about it. But two teams facing each other in the Women's College World Series for the first time, in-state rivals, and both looking to move to 2-0 in OKC. What a night it was. My first experience at a Women's College World Series game, and I will never forget it. Overflow crowd of just over 9,800 fans, the largest ever gathering at that time at the Women's College World Series. G. Juarez silenced Samantha Shao. There were no bat flips in Oklahoma City that night. Shao was 0 for 3. G struck out 11 Cowgirl hitters, and OU rolled to a 6-1 win over Oklahoma State. Jocelyn Alo, of course, led the way for OU's offense. She had 2 hits and 3 RBIs for arguably OU's biggest win ever against Oklahoma State. And there's been a lot of wins, but this one is number 1 to me because there was so much build-up, so much hype to this game, so many people at the game. You shut down Samantha Shao, and because, well, it was my first ever game at the Women's College World Series, and I'll never forget it. So what's your list? What's your 1 through 5? Heck, what's just your number 1 most memorable win against Oklahoma State? Might Wednesday enter your list? It's going to be tough being just a one-off non-conference game this year, but you never know when these two teams meet. Be interested to see what you drop in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, but as always, thank you for watching.